Commissioners' regular monthly meeting, February the 7th, 2012 at 6:30 in the evening. Would you stand, please, and Brother Andy Beebe is going to do the prayer and the pledge to the flag.
Good evening. You notice I brought this sword along.
Right.
Yeah.
Could we get together and send some of these to Washington?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Come on.
I hope every one of you's got one. But I just wanted to read you a couple of verses of scripture here. And by one of the wisest men that ever lived, and that's Solomon. He said, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding. In some of your ways acknowledge," oh no, that's all of your ways, "acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." In James 1:5 it said, "If any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God." And if there's anything we need, it's the wisdom of God. We need that in this country. We need it in our area. And I just want, first of all, I want to tell you how much we appreciate every one of you, your jobs, what you're doing and looking after us. And Randy, you need to show your face once in a while at my house.
Yes,
But the Lord is just good to us, isn't he? Amen. I want us to pray. Our precious Father, we love you tonight and we just praise you. Thank you that we are privileged to be born in America. We do appreciate it, God. We thank you for your blessings. We thank you most of all for sending your Son Jesus to this world to die for our sins, to take our place. We're grateful that we can have the peace of God in a nation, in our individual lives, in a commission meeting or whatever it happens to be, because Jesus is in our midst. We ask you tonight to give us your wisdom. Give everybody here, give our commissioners the wisdom that they need to carry on their job. And sometimes I know it gets tough, but you are able to bring us through, and we ask you to do it. Just bless everyone that's here tonight, but especially, Lord, our leaders in this community. And I thank God for it. I thank you for them, Lord, and I ask your wisdom and knowledge and understanding and blessings to be upon them. And while we're all agreeing together, we pray for our President, Vice President, the Cabinet, the Supreme Court, the Congress, everybody up there. God, open their eyes and let them see. Let them see what's happening. And Lord, I just thank you for doing it. And we give you the praise for it. In the name of Jesus, we ask this. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
And be seated. Item number 1, approval of the minutes from January 12, regular meeting. I'll give you a few minutes to read them. Of course, we had 2 public hearings, 2 on January, in January. I hear a motion, we approve the minutes without being read.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
And a second. Let's see. All in favor by signifying aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Okay. Our second thing on the agenda is Mr. Sam Sullivan.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Introducing our All Green Service Incorporated.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate y'all having me. I know y'all have other issues on your agenda, and I'll be brief. I really just wanted to introduce and reintroduce myself to some of you, because some of you I know and worked with over my past years with Southland Waste Services, your solid waste services provider. I'm Sam Sullivan. I'm now with All Green Services. Just to give you a brief history on me, in 1990 I started a company in Vidalia called Sullivan Environmental Services with my father. And we started a garbage company from scratch with 1 truck and 1 driver, and grew that business. And in 1996 we sold it to Republic Services, which is one of the largest in the country solid waste companies. And I worked for Republic for 14 years. and they treated me great. And I was responsible for all of their assets in South Georgia, including Sullivan and Vidalia, Southland Waste in Waycross, their transfer station in Waycross, their transfer station in Claxton, their landfill, Broadhurst Environmental in Wayne County, their hauling operation in Brunswick. And I did that for 14 years with them. In December of 2008, they merged with another company called Allied Waste, based out of Phoenix, Arizona. And I just really wanted to get back to my roots of owning and operating my own solid waste business here in South Georgia again. So I left in February of 2010, had to sit out because of a non-compete agreement, coached high school football at Robert Toombs Christian Academy in Lyons, and I rejoined my brother in December of 2010, and he had started All Green Services. So All Green today services Swainsboro, Twin City, Stillmore, Oak Park, Candler County, Evans County, all of Wayne County. We do the recycling center for the city of Jessup. We collect the recyclables, we process and sell the recyclables. We have a transfer station in Statesboro where we handle recyclables and transfer and bale recyclables. Then we have an operation down in Adel, Valdosta area. And we do the cities of Quitman, Osceola, Alapaha, Nashville, and Merlin. And just last week we started the city of Claxton. So I know you have an agreement with Southland, and that's in effect till the end of 2013. My name is on that contract, so I remember that well. I'm calling on you way in advance. Just want you to know there is an alternative out there. When the time comes, I'd love to be at the table with you to have an opportunity to try to save you some money. All of those communities that I mentioned, we save them money, and I'm convinced we can do the same for Pierce County. And I've just got some brochures I'll leave you with my card in there. I'll pass them right down the line. And we're in the residential, commercial, and roll-off business. And we're based in South Georgia. We're a family company. We're a small company. And again, when the time comes, just give me the opportunity to sit down with you. I worked with Mr. Bowen for years in his previous term. I worked with Mr. Bennett before. And I'm from South Georgia. I'm not going anywhere. And so when that time comes, just give me the opportunity to talk with you. Talk trash.
We appreciate you coming.
Thank you all very much.
I don't think you'll have to scratch our back much.
Okay.
Because we know you.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Appreciate having you.
Bye-bye.
All right, do I hear a motion that we go into executive session on personnel?
Yes. I'll make motions.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor by signifying aye? The ayes have it. And we'll be right back. I hear a motion. We come back in from executive session. Motion, Mr. Chairman. Second. All in favor by signifying aye? Aye. And the ayes have it.
Well, the board is asking us to summarize what they talked about during the session. Primarily, the first issue was had to do with, I guess you might say, a conflict among the board members and I guess the managers, and that was resolved. I assume what was said in there, everybody accepted their part of the blame, if you will. The next issue we moved to was the issue that was in the paper about the surface of the salvage property and scrap equipment that we had. Mr. Griffiths, the road superintendent, admitted that was a snafu, that it wouldn't happen again, and we use that military terms. Bang, rather. And the manager also accepted the fact that that shouldn't have happened, and he'd see that it didn't happen again also. We then moved to the issue of Mr. Justice's standing, his positions with the county, and the board intends to address those issues probably tonight before they're over. the meeting's over with, is that correct?
We agreed to leave Ken where he was right now until after the evaluation of his 911, EMS and the fire.
How?
Okay.
I guess I put that into a motion, so we vote on it.
I don't think we got to vote on that, but if you want to do that on him,
We didn't ever change that.
We didn't change anything, change nothing, right?
I think we're next to the consent agenda.
Okay, back to your agenda, item number 3, item number 4, item number 5, 6, 7, and 8. Do I hear a motion that we approve?
I make a motion that we approve.
Second. All in favor by signifying aye.
Aye.
And the ayes have it. Number 9 is in approval. Approve resolution setting the 2012 budget for the general fund at $7,979,450 and the E911 budget at $349,918. Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to approve the 2012 budget.
I second it. All in favor by signifying aye. Aye. And the ayes have it. Okay, number 10 is the it's the budget on the multi-purpose center, NFC building, and the library project. Total is $104,954.75. Now the NFC and the NF multi-purpose building is $49,483.16. The library is $48,955.02. The library county part is $6,561.57. I hear a motion that we approve this budget.
Second.
All in favor by signifying aye.
Aye.
And then the ayes have it. Okay. Has anybody got anything they want to discuss? Open to the public.
Yes, sir, I'd like to discuss a thing or two with y'all. It seems as though that everybody's rowing along in the same boat. That whatever our manager up here wants to do, everybody just goes right along with it. And it seems to me like that we the people that voted you commissioners in was put up here to sort of protect us and look out for us. And not have some outsider to come in here and just take over. And y'all just go right along with it. It bugs me and disturbs me to think that we've operated in this county for several years. And we did not have to have a county manager to attend to our business. And maybe I don't understand at all what's going on. And I'm not real smart, I know that, or I've probably been a commissioner along with y'all if I could have got voted in. But I don't like y'all trying to get rid of Ken Justice for what he's done for this county and for us volunteer firemen. And Bill, you know as good as anybody what he has done for us.
That's right.
And I don't know why y'all so bent against to get rid of him and hire somebody new to help Leonard handle it. I've been in since the get-go, before the county ever took over. And it has gone places since Ken and Leonard has been pulling it up for us. And I hate to see something built up like it is to get the blocks kicked out from under it overnight. And I feel sure there's probably some up there that wouldn't care. whether we had a fire department or not, that we could just pay the price of the insurance and go without it. But I feel like it's a good thing. Save property, save some lives maybe. And Neil, I think you're aware of some of the things that the fire department has done, and it was to a good advantage. And I would definitely like to see Ken stay on where he's at. And I don't believe that the $25,000 that Joe, from what I understand now, I ain't seen facts and figures on it, to hire somebody to come in and help Leonard with it, unbeknownst probably anything about the fire department. And I know they're not going to be out there like Ken was. Wee hours of the morning, whatever, he was there. And he didn't just go to see that we were there, he was there amongst us. He had the water hose just like the rest of us did at times. And I would like to see him stay where he's at. And about this equipment doing, I believe it was me that done what was done about it. Who give Mr. Griffiths authority for him to get the bids for that and it not published? Why was it not published to the public, to where any and everybody wanted to bid on it, instead of kind of an undercover thing? Who gave him permission to do what he done? Did y'all do it?
I did that.
Sir?
I'm the one that gave him permission to dispose of the property that was considered, or that at that time we had talked about was scrap. I did not give him permission to do what was finally done with that equipment. So that's...
You didn't tell him how to dispose of it?
The understanding was that they were going to scrap that and get prices for scrap metal, or get people to bid on it that are in that business. And he said that's what he was going to do, but eventually they did something else with it.
But he didn't do what he was supposed to publish it for bids to the public, and wound up getting it for his brother-in-law. Is that correct?
Right, that's correct.
And got a slap on the hand for it. If it'd been me, it'd put me in jail about it. And some tin that went missing from out there.
No, there's not any tin missing, and that's been proven tonight. And we talked to Mr. Griffith about that, and that tin is still over there. It's in inventory, and we have pictures to prove it.
Okay, well, the man that was out there to put that tin out there said it was gone.
Well, the commissioners all have pictures of the tin on the property at Public Works.
On the property of the county farm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it was, I understand, I don't know anything, I ain't seen the book, but there's something like a $5 million on the books that ain't nothing to show for it. The money is not there.
You're talking about money that was spent in some way before I got here, and that was in 2010 and prior to it. I think those things have been discussed before. The money in question, from the best that we've been able to talk to our auditors and the folks that handle the finance, that money, CDs were cashed in separately at different times and used in the operating budget, is my understanding.
Why was it not on the books where it went?
It was on the books, sir.
And you knew all about it even before this happened, before you got here?
No, sir, I did not.
I say you know all about it now, but it happened before you got here.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty good. Basically, what I want to say is I'm not happy with what y'all doing and what's going on. And Randy, just like I told you, and you was talking to me about, you know, that y'all a lot of times didn't have time to go over things before the meeting. On kind of you working, and I
Here's
understand
one of the
that.
questions that I told you I'd get back with you. I've got answers for them after that, being back there tonight.
Well, okay, you didn't get back to me, but I just want to let you know, we voted y'all in, I think that y'all know what to expect and what to do. And if you don't know what to do, and there were some promises made too, that certain things wouldn't happen if they got voted in. And that was all a lie too. You know. And I don't have to call no names, but I just want to let y'all know, if you can't handle it, if you ain't got the time to do it for your other jobs, don't run. And if you're in and can't handle it, get out. Let somebody else get in that can make it. And I hope that I ain't hurting none of your feelings, but I'm getting a little bit off my chest that's been bothering me. And another thing about that tax doings for the elderly. Oh, that was a no-no with the school board. And I can understand that too. Them people that's making 100,000 plus, they don't want to get their salary cut, but they don't mind getting out here and picking on these people that can't hardly afford to take care, maintain what little bit of property they got, to pay their taxes. They can't hardly get by just making a living. They exist. But them people that's up there has got good jobs and making big money, and I'm not referring about the teachers, but I'm just talking about them people that's up there and making big money. They don't want their salary cut to help balance the budget or whatever. And as far as I can stand to pay my taxes, I pay them. I've paid them since '64. And they had a youngin' at the house in years. Well, got grand youngins, but I paid for somebody else's youngin' before I ever had any youngins. And I would like to have a tax break. But apparently, none of you commissioners or the commissioners on the Board of Education can see that. They're looking out for themselves. They ain't looking out for these other people that can't hardly afford to get by. And that's about all that I need to say. I don't take up too much time. Y'all done made it a late situation getting out of here. But I definitely do not like what's going on.
Just to answer your last question about the tax, that's not the responsibility of this board, and obviously they didn't really want to speak up on that, but that's the school board, and this commission is not responsible for the school board salaries or the decisions that they make.
Who's responsible for the school board salaries?
The school board.
Well, then we need to talk to them too then.
Yes, sir.
Be a good attitude. Well, that's about all I got to say. Somebody else might want to have something to say.
Earl, I took it on myself.
Sir?
I took it on myself on this tax business because this board didn't even know what I was going to do. But and see these people coming in here in wheelchairs, crutches, walking stick, bent over to pay their tax. And all of them would come on and meet me down the hall or come on down to my office and tell me that they needed something done. And I took this on myself to do it. This board is not guilty of that. I'm the one that's took it on, and I have not stopped yet.
Don't it stem from here though? Don't it have to be up? Don't y'all have to make the decision to whether to put it on to vote on or not? Or who makes that decision?
I would like for this board to be with me, but I don't know if they're going to be with me or not. It was discussed in Atlanta that they would like for everybody on this board to vote for it.
I would like for everybody on the board to vote for it. And I would mind if somebody would talk to the people on the school board and see if you can get them to understand everybody that's on that school board makes a good living. I know they don't get that much pay for being on the school board, but have a little bit of mercy on these old folks. And I think some of y'all would talk to them, it would help.
Well, Mr. Earl, I believe I stated to you in our conversation that I was for the help for the elderly, but we've got to have time working with the school board to put action in place to replace that money. Where are we gonna get that money from to plug back into this budget? We can't
That's what I'm
just
talking about. You can cut some of them high wages, high paying
But
jobs
what
out.
I told you,
With
Mr. Earl, is when it was brought before this board, excluding Mr. Mitch, the time matter it was, none of us had talked, had any knowledge on it, and not even, much less the school board knew about it. It was the way the whole process was brought before this board.
You think
It was thrown in front of us to vote on something without having the facts and figures and a plan in place to go and get the money that we was going to give the relief for the elderly. We had to have plans to replace that money from somewhere
I can
without
understand
raising the millage rate 2 or 3 meals.
I can understand that.
It took 2 meals on two.
That's part of y'all's duty to do to figure stuff out like that.
But what I'm saying was it was brought to us up here at a meeting to vote on without the school board even knowing that it was going on.
Well, looks like y'all could all get together and
That's exactly what I talked to you about. We had not had a chance to even, much less, it was just thrown in front of us at a meeting, and the school board knew nothing about it. And did I not tell you I was for it?
Yeah, but you
Okay, I
told
just want to state that.
but you told me you was the honest one for it, and I appreciate that.
But I said, we've got to have an action to plug in from, to get the money, to replace the money from somewhere else.
Well, I wish y'all all think about it and help Mitchell do something about it and talk to the school board members. I know they ain't gonna be willing to take a cut in pay. But they could take a cut in pay and get by a whole lot better than some of these people that's trying to pay their taxes and keep what they got.
Yes, I'd like to just say just a few words, but in behalf of Ken. I don't know if you commissioners, Mr. Paul, I don't know if y'all know exactly what Ken does. I just as soon have Ken Justice come to me as a doctor. I've been there, and he knew what he was doing. And I hope that Ken stays where he's at, and I believe he said he was. On the fire departments, let me tell you this. The first fire truck that we got out in Walkerville, Mr. T.J. Smith, Terry Harris, brought in a wore-out state Ford 6-cylinder truck. 300 gallons of water. We put a tank on it ourselves, had a big one put on it. But when we would go to a fire, a lot of times we'd have to pull that truck off. And we suffered and suffered and going to fires and doing this with regular equipment till Ken Justice took over, fire coordinator. He started getting grant monies, he started writing them and everything, and you see where the fire department's at today. We're not the best, but I'll tell you this much, I think we can stand with him. But I want to tell you something, commissioners. You can listen real good, but you do away with it, and you're going to go to the fires yourself, because the beeper's going to be lit on your table. That's just how we feel in our department, and a lot of other departments said, we'll back you up. So I hope that you'll take this in consideration as to where we've come. It's like rags to riches. That's what we've done. We've got a good building. I kept a truck under my shelter at the house for 30 years. But now we've got a good fire department. We've got a good building. And we got people that's wanting to join. We had a meeting last couple of weeks ago at our station. We had a man there that he's wanting to join up, but they don't have the money to buy the turnout gear and beepers for them. That tells you something right there. That tells you something. So we're going to lose some, but we need to bring new ones in and get them trained. But you ain't got the money. So just think about it. Where your fire department's at. If your house catches a fire, what you going to do? I thank you.
Alder Creek is with him 100% on just what he said. And another thing I want to mention too was about some equipment that somebody tried to bring Ken Justice in on doing away with the county stuff when it didn't belong to the county stuff. And I'd like for that to be corrected in the paper that was now county stuff. that he got rid of. The county didn't buy that. I'd like for that to be corrected in the paper.
I understand that we did not say that it did not belong, that it belonged to the county, and I think we covered that tonight in our meeting. We all understand that that was donated to those fire departments by individuals, and it was not county-owned property.
That's right. But these people out here didn't know about it. Y'all discussed it in y'all's meeting, but it weren't discussed out here.
Well, there was a whole lot of stuff written in, and especially one newspaper that didn't have any facts behind it either, so that doesn't surprise me.
No. When I read what I read in there the other day, it didn't surprise me. It just made my blood boil.
I would like to speak. I come here tonight not intending on saying anything, but as someone young in the community and growing up here all my life, I have always wanted to see Pierce County prosper, whether it be sports, school system, government, or anything. I have grown up in the north part of the county, Walkerville, my family and in the fire department. And like my grandfather said, it's Herman Moore, about what we had to start with. I remember those trucks. I was young, but I remember those trucks very unreliable. A lot of times things would get out of trouble before we could even get out of the yard with them. But we come here and we talk about not having money for this, not having money for that. Now, of course, I don't know the odds and ends of everything, but I've heard talk about the new building going up at the county farm. What is the absolute pressing need for that? Like when we talk about we have men that won't join the fire department but can. Why is money going to something like that when it should go to something that to me seems more pertinent for the safety of our county, people that live in our county, and whatever happens. And regarding Mr. Ken Justice, he has done a lot for our fire department, for ours in particular. Like he said, we didn't have anything out in Walkerville. It was whatever was up under my papa's barn. But I don't know if anybody else is going to get up that time of night and go to the things he does, go to the fires he does like he does. And if Mr. Leonard, if he was to take over that position, it would be unrealistic for him to drive to Brent County to attend to that. Or it would be unrealistic to hire somebody. Now, I don't believe we're going to find somebody to do it for the same amount of pay that he's currently getting for that same job. I don't believe that. And as far as our county government, I don't understand why we spend our time and take our time out of our day to elect officials to run our government and have to hire someone to run our government. Amen. That doesn't seem, I don't understand the fact, and Mr. Paul, I don't know nothing about you, don't know you personally, and if it wasn't you, I'd say the same about someone else. I don't think that we should elect someone if we're going to hire someone to take care of our business. Mm-hmm. And also the fact that here in Pierce County, we know Pierce County. Mr. Paul is not from Pierce County. I believe if we can't get a group of people elected in this county to run our business, then there's no need in having elections. I don't believe that. And if I'm not challenging your integrity or your intellectualness, but if you're not smart enough to be able to do that, then like I said before, we need to have somebody else run for office that can handle that. Now, like I said, I'm not challenging anybody's intelligence or any issues or anything, but that's something that I don't believe we need to spend money, and once again spending money on someone else's salary when that money, I believe, could go to something else that needs improving all around this county. Because Lord knows we have plenty of things that need to be addressed around here. Spending money in the yin yang and talking about needing more money from our older people in society in this county. That's a lot that I believe we have really dropped the ball on. And my younger generation, people a little older than me, is looking out for our elderly. Now that's something that I believe we've really dropped the ball in this county and in this country. And I know you have no control over that. But I believe we really need to look at the issues and sort out the most important things to things that maybe later, hope to God that our economy improves, we can go after. But I believe these frivolous things such as buildings and stuff that at the moment aren't pushing can wait. for things that need to be taken care of.
I personally want to thank you for your comments. That's the reason why we have such a great nation, that people can get up and say what they think and not worry about what other people think about what they just said. Just to address your statement about the building, when you're paying $900 for a brake job on an EMS unit, you need to be thinking about what you can do to save money. The building will be built out of SPLOST money, SPLOST 8 money, which is paid by everybody that comes through this county and buys gas or food or whatever. And that shop is needed desperately. It will save lots of money on maintenance. The city has also asked us to take over their maintenance work on all their equipment. And so it's going to be a big savings to the citizens of Pierce County. And the money will be coming from the SPLOST 8 funds and not from our operating funds. So I just want to make sure you understand that. And it is going to be a great thing for the folks that work on the equipment and keep the county running. To address the thing on the commissioners, commissioners have jobs, and this is a part-time thing for them regardless of who you elect. And they do a tremendous job, and they're very supportive. And contrary to Mitty's paper, I don't get to vote on anything. All I do is make recommendations based on what the staff has gone out and made and gathered information on the subjects that the commissioners want to make decisions on. So we do the best we can on that, the best of our ability, and so that they can make sound decisions. And I think they've done a great job, and y'all should be very proud of the commissioners that you have, because I've worked with a lot of different boards of commission, and this is a great one. This is one of the best I've ever worked for. And I know y'all are new to the county manager's type of government, and there are a lot of counties that have this, and they've gone to it because it is a more efficient way to operate. We've saved in all of our programs that we've worked on this year, we've cut about $780,000 out of spending, and people have a short memory. They forget that when I came on 7 months ago, we were $700,000 over budget, and this was because they didn't have the correct leadership prior to this commission. And so I think we're on the right track. I think we're making great progress, and I think in another 6 months, the citizens of Pierce County will be very proud of what this commission has been able to accomplish. Thank you.
I thought that the building might be paid from the SPLOST money, but as people everyday people that do not know what's going on, a lot of times that gets overlooked. But I still believe the things pertinent to our operation of fire departments, like the fireman equipment, needs to be addressed. And go back to the issue of, like you said, go and you sort out, find information about what needs to be done and present it to the board and have a vote on it. My question, going back to Ken Justice, where did that recommendation come from, and how was the point made? How did we come to the consideration that it would be better off to get rid of him as fire coordinator and have something else be put in place?
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. This has gone on for 7 months. We actually, when I came on board, was looking at the departments that spend the most money, and to make sure that you evaluate those and investigate it and look at it to make sure the money is spent wisely. Me and the staff interviewed, as well as some of the commissioners sat in on the interviews for 3 companies that are EMS companies throughout the state. 2 of them in Ware County, 1 of them out of Macon. Since then, we've had lengthy conversations with Ware County, Brantley County, and Wayne County, and also checked into 1 other that's run by a hospital. But anyway, what got us looking into that is all of the people that we talked to that ran EMS departments, and I know y'all are concerned about fire, and fire is just as important, but we were dealing with EMS. And all of these companies and representatives were telling us that we were spending $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 more than we should be spending for the same amount of job and the same quality of job. So, you know, I would have been very remiss in my responsibilities if I had not investigated and continued on that path. Now, Mr. Justice has got a evaluation coming up by the state EMS department, April 9, 10, and 11. These are people from the state EMS department. They're experts from all over the state, and they're coming in here for 3 days to evaluate him. I wanted to isolate him and put him in EMS so he could get that department functioning like it's supposed to be, to look over every aspect of his operation, and if there is something wrong, correct it. If there's not something wrong, leave it alone. So we were trying to, me mainly, was trying to isolate him to give them the advantage and get him ready for that evaluation. Now obviously, he feels like he is ready for the evaluation right now, which I totally disagree on. Has he done a great job? Sure. Is he a good EMS person? Yes. Is he a good firefighter? Yes. But I'm talking about the operations. He is a department director. Doesn't have anything to do with his quality of work out in the field. It has to do with the design of the operation, and is it working the best it can work. When I get through with his department, then I'll go to another department till we get all of them checked out and evaluated to make sure that we're not wasting taxpayers' money. And I don't think that's out of line. I think that's what you folks expect. I know you don't understand it, but once you live through the process and see the end result, I think you'll be very happy that the commission did what they've done.
I've got another question about the building. I go along with you 100%. It's well needed out here to maintain the equipment and what have you. But do I understand that you got an engineer hired to construct that building for $25,000?
No, so you got an engineer that will design that building for $28,000, and he will also oversee the project and oversee the contractor, whoever that contractor is. He will be through with the blueprints on that in about 2 weeks, and then the staff will put that out to bid, and we'll be taking bids from all over the country, I'm sure. And then the board, the commission, will decide who gets that contract, and then that architect will also oversee it till it's finished.
Well, I don't know much about none of this stuff. All I know is it's been around for a while. And the commissioners don't think that they can handle the job and do what they was in. They shouldn't have run for the office. And then we get out and hire somebody that none of the rest of us had anything to voting on the situation on the county manager. That should have been inside too. They was all voted for. Why wasn't the people knew that we could even vote for a county manager? See if we even really wanted one. Then, did all of the commissioners vote at that time for a county manager?
That was before my time.
I know it.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Did they all do it?
Unanimous, yes, sir.
Okay. You had a unanimous
unanimous.
vote
Yes, sir.
at that time
Yes, sir.
and didn't have no chairman. He was in bed. And you got appointed chairman.
Unanimous vote, yes, sir.
Yeah, unanimous vote. We didn't have all 5. We just had 4. And you had to be the one to break the tie. Is that right?
No, sir. That's all right.
Okay. Explain it to me.
Nothing to explain, it's unanimous vote. You can back up, I mean, I think that was probably before Mr. Jim got sick. I mean, he knew all about this
He's
deal.
the one that brought it up.
Bless his heart.
He's the one that talked about it.
I mean,
After he
Research
come back
the
from
record.
Atlanta,
Yeah.
he brought
he
it
was
up.
on board.
But we still need a county manager to run it, and with 5 people still voted in.
Yes, sir. Efficiency.
Okay.
I would like to say something. And, one day, I read in the paper, and I was a little disturbed about that anybody would come in here and put it, and it go in the paper then. I don't know whether that's the way you spoke it or not. That when you turned over a rock, you saw another rattlesnake. But you know, I don't see that anybody else has found rattlesnakes around here. So be careful what rock you look under. But another thing I want to say is, we know somebody we're acquainted with them from several counties, from Pierce County, that came to us and told us, and I don't even know that they even know Ken, but it came from you, Mr. Carl, that Ken Justice would be gone from here. I don't think you really knew that much about Ken. A lot of nights when you're sleeping, he's up home. But that might be his job. But we feel like there was a conversation with you that told that person that, because he came and asked us, what kind of person is Ken? And you know, I don't like to hear things come back from that far away that you had made the comment on that Ken Justice would be gone.
Ma'am, I have not made that statement. I don't know where you heard it from.
Well,
It doesn't make any difference to me, but I've actually have been working trying to save Ken Justice's job, and the commissioners know that.
Well, he doesn't even know who that is. So where would he have got that from?
You know, we hear stuff every day that comes just off the wall that people say things all the time, and we don't even, it catches us off guard every day because we don't even know what people are talking about.
But I would like to ask you this, to please don't refer to anybody around here, maybe it's rattlesnakes. When you turn over a rock, be careful. A rattlesnake might be looking at you.
Wasn't talking about people as rattlesnakes. Every time I've turned over a situation, it's been poison. It's been, and you've got to remember that several years back, there has been very limited leadership because of sickness and death and that type of stuff. And there has been a lot of things that were overlooked and things that were not handled. And that's what I'm referring to. Every time I turn to a problem and open it up, there's a snake in there. You know, it's not talking about people. It's just it signifies that there's a desperate problem with that and we have to fix it.
Well, maybe you need to reword that a little bit.
You're exactly right.
But I think we have some good people here, but I can't understand exactly how they have been working smoothly, it seems, but then you come in and find it like they've done nothing. They're all wrong. And it's just changes that you want to make on them.
No, ma'am.
We have some good commissioners.
You have some wonderful people here. Yes, ma'am, you're correct. I haven't met anybody in Pierce County that hasn't just been great. But it has been very obvious that things were broken and they had to be fixed. And the finances of this county, if they'd gone on about, probably 3 or 4 more weeks after I got here, if me or somebody had not gotten here, this county would have been bankrupt. And I know the fine people of Pierce County would not like that. And when you know the details, it all gets real clear.
How did it get that far then? If people have been in office for so long, where in the world, at what point did the ship turn that far away? And if you had to come along, what job were our past elected officials in Maryland, what job were they not doing?
I'll turn that over to some of the other commissioners because they know as well as I do that when you're $700,000 overspent and they put a note in front of you saying you're $115,000 overdrawn in the bank, that you got some desperate problems. And that's exactly what happened, and there was nobody that would actually had the knowledge and the ability to get us out of this mess except someone like me or another person that they could have chosen to do the same job with the experience. But we're not in that shape anymore. But it's painful. Nobody likes change. And somebody has to be the bad guy, and it just happens to be me.
We need some factual accountability.
Got audited every year. You're welcome to a copy of it.
Now, how did it get that far if we've been audited and it's still turned around that bad?
It's just there. Just read it.
Why can't we have the county audited anyway?
We do every year, ma'am.
It's audited every year by the state of Georgia.
And we got independent auditors.
Independent auditor, then it gets sent to the state and their
Mr. Earl Lawson
auditors
is glad to
go
furnish you with a copy of it.
I talked to Ms. Moore about that earlier, and I think what she's referring to is a full-blown audit for all the departments.
Right.
Including the school
Right.
board.
We don't have anything to do with the
Let's tear the school board up right now. Don't even mention the school board. We don't have nothing to do with it.
I know you don't have nothing to do with
Not
school
a
board, and I'm
thing.
not saying that, but I was just making the statement of
Okay,
the school
all right.
board.
'Cause,
I
mean,
wasn't
can't
directing
do
that
nothing
y'all
about
have
the sound
anything to
anyway.
do with making the school board
I
be
just
all.
didn't do nothing about that.
We know that, and that's why I never said y'all should have any control over that.
One question, I believe I understood it right, that Ken's gonna stay like he is right now.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. My question is, I do know that, when we had the barbecue, that we had to let some people go. What about our services, our ambulances? Are we gonna still be able to run as many ambulances, or have we had to lay people off and we cutting back, not gonna be able to run as many ambulances?
Mr. Justice will be directing that program, and it's his responsibility to run at least, we actually qualify for 1.5 trucks. It's 1 truck for every 10,000 people. We have 2 trucks, and we want 3 trucks to be able to run, and that's Mr. Justice's responsibility to come to the board with a plan, and that's the reason why they made the decision to do what they did tonight.
Appreciate it. That's good.
What about the ones that he had to let go? Will they come back on board?
That's up to Mr. Justice. I don't think that's the plan, but he will come up with a plan. Whatever he decides is fine with us, as long as it maintains and works within his budget.
No other questions, this meeting is adjourned.